with cooking the banksia cones so that we can get the seed out and propagate fresh banksia. And you'll look at these little, almost guitar pick looking seeds. You sort of see the wings on the ends, but the seed bud's really just at the tip. And it's very paper thin. So the woody insert part in the middle is just not actually what we're after. It's the papery bit on both sides that are the seeds. That's a seed. That's a seed. And this isn't a seed. And that's all we really want, is this paper thin seed. You can see the darker tip is all that it is. It's protected during the fire in the banksia cone. The fire comes through, and then because the fires sort of had this effect on the cones, then the seeds just fall out and the next generation of Banksias comes about.
I mean, Banksias need bushfire in normal circumstances. They need the heat, or even, I think, in very hot summer, to open up the seed pods. And the best we can do is to cook the banksia cones to open up the pods. So they need a heat.
Been cooking it today for 50 minutes or 50 to an hour, but sometimes you can cook them for a shorter period than that. It's just they've taken a bit more time today because it's pretty chilly.
Another little trick, this is how we get them out. We just tap them.
And we will still go through with tweezers and pull out the rest of them, but that's really what we're aiming to do.
The seed collecting group's a really good group. You do reconnaissance, you go out to areas to look for potential sites to collect seeds, or to check to see if plants are ready to have seeds collected. We also recover plants. A good example, that the councilwoman might be repairing a walking track, and we can collect plants, say, a metre on either side of the track, and they're grown on. And the other thing is to collect seeds, and sometimes we just go out and do a lovely bush walk, having a look.
Where they've done
Which is my favourite day.
We're doing Garnia seeds at the moment, and they sort of come in the fronds because it's more of a sedgy looking species. We've had a few different species of Garnia today from probably different kinds of habitats. Yeah, and some of them can be more swampy, and some of them are more in the dry, ridgetop communities. So we have to get rid of the frass from the seed material so that we can pass this on to people who actually germinate the seeds. Yeah, we're doing the hard job right now of actually cleaning the seed as best we can. So this is a hard one to propagate because it's got a really hard exterior shell, and a lot of the species of Garnia actually need to pass through the gut lining and everything of birds, and they need to actually go through that sort of acidic environment before they can germinate. So when it comes to actually doing these ones in a nursery, it's actually quite difficult. And there's lots of different tricks, and I don't know all the tricks because I've never worked in a nursery, but I know that people have to somehow put them through acidic baths and stuff like that to make sure that the coating of the seeds have mimicked the gut of a bird to be able to actually start germinating. So that's always a trick that nurseries have, and sometimes they're a bit secretive about, is how they germinate their Garnia.
There's one garner that they said they have to actually allow to mature for about a year before they sow the seed. And another technique, they tried putting in a Ziploc bag and heating the Ziploc bag in boiling water, and they found that successful.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the seed wasn't wet, it stayed dried.
Because it was heating.
Yes.
Well, I just love working with plants for a start, and it's really interesting learning about the reproduction of plants, and also our work leads to regeneration of degraded areas.
It's just good to be able to learn about the different plants and the seed, and how to propagate different seeds, and the fact that we're getting this, it's being propagated and then getting put back into the bush where it's needed. in degraded areas.
Oh, you have to regulate how seed gets collected, otherwise
Yeah.
you get things like there's a big problem that happens annually with things like waratahs, where people will collect the warrant, and that's something that can be pretty destructive.
A commercial enterprise could go into an area and strip that area of all the seeds, and the area wouldn't have the seed bank. So if they progressively went in there over a number of seasons, they reduced the seed bank.
A lot of regeneration work, especially in more degraded areas, you need to get fresh supplies of seeds, and something that gets talked about a lot is local provenance. We know exactly where this has come from, when it's come from, when it's been collected, that is, and when we do activities of bush care and bush regeneration in those local areas, often this is the source of the seeds that we'll be using to do that regeneration.